Do the people know what this means for their work? And let me do a little exercise with you. What are the values of your agency, and how would you know if they were present? And let me tell you, this works everywhere. My wife started a store. It's a dog wash and coffee bar. So you bring in your dirty dog, you have somebody wash it while you're drinking expensive coffee. And when we started that store, one of the things we said is we need to not only have vision and mission, but we need to have values. Because let me tell you, everybody you train how to wash a dog does a pretty good job of washing the dog. It's not whether they wash the dog or not. It means we want to keep them as an employee. It's the values that go with it. Very first value, dogs come first. So if you notice that the dog has a mat, if you notice that they have fleas, if you notice that there's something going on with the dog, are you saying something about it? So we not only have the value, but we have the behavior that goes with the value. So what are the values that your organization has, and how would you know if they were present? What behaviors would you see that say that value is present? Because a lot of people do a pretty good job of listing the values. Damn few people go, let's take it one step further. Let's operationalize it. So do it. What are the values, and how would you know if they're present? And let me underline the importance of doing this. Because what we've seen as we do this is what helps make people successful when they want to have change occur, and what holds them back. And some of it is, what do we expect to see from the people doing the day-to-day work? What do we expect to see from managers? And quite often it's values such as the ones we were looking at. Things like, are people listening? How would you know? Are they being respectful? How would you know? And performance evaluations. Most performance evaluations are a crock. Most performance evaluations waste people's time. But if I was going over the values and saying, here's how you're doing, and if I was a manager and you weren't conforming to the values, and we had passed out something that says, here they are, and here's how we know, and you're not doing it, and gave you an opportunity to change, you would get out of the way of the change. You would help facilitate the change if you were able to. But in many cases, people go, what do you mean? So that's why this becomes very important. And I'm not giving you anywhere near enough time. And some of you are going values. I know we have them listed somewhere. What are they? So think about going back to your agency and doing this. Going back to your agency, and if you're not senior management, getting senior management to do it. Or getting it done and handing it to them, saying, here, look what clever thing we did for you. But let me give you 2 more minutes and say, talk at your table, how well are you doing with this? Are the performance expectations for the people doing the day-to-day work and frontline managers, do those performance expectations include the values that your organization presents? And would I know if I'm meeting them or not meeting them? Talk at your table for just 2 minutes. And I hesitate to interrupt this conversation because it is one of the critical. If you want to be successful in being a person-centered organization, this is one of the conversations you need to have. This is one of the conversations that rarely occurs. And it's one of the things that you really want people to be serious about. Do you know the 3 golden rules of management? Every manager should have these 3 rules tattooed on their body in some place where they can look. So not in a secret place, but somewhere like inside your wrist or something. And the first rule for a manager is the people I supervise know what's expected of them. The people I know what's expected of them. And there's clarity about it, and it doesn't change with the winds. It's stable. And the only way you can tell if it's true is to ask the people you supervise. What do you think the performance expectations are? And if everybody you supervise has exactly the expectations that you have, you are God's gift to this work. Because if you supervise more than 2 or 3 people, someone is going to have a set of perceptions about your performance expectations that came from another planet. You have to check and see. The second golden rule is that the people I supervise know how they're doing against the expectations. So the people I supervise know what the expectations are, and they know your perception of how they're doing. So if people sit down and have regular supervision sessions, one of the topics of conversation ought to be, do you know what I expect of you? And how do you think you're doing? And again, people will often think they're doing really well, and you're going, I'm trying not to fire you. And you think you're great. There's a problem here. In other cases, you'll have somebody who goes, oh, I wish I was doing better. And I'm going, you're the best person I have at this. Goes both directions. People who really undervalue themselves and people who overvalue themselves. Clarity is needed. But you also have to remember the third rule, which is where the person wishes to meet or exceed those expectations, you're telling them how to do that. You don't have to be the person who says, I'm going to coach you into success. You may be that person, but you don't have to be. You could be the person who says, go take this training, go get this counseling, take this course at college. But you have to be able to say to people, here's how you can meet or exceed the expectations. And the employees that you really want are the people who go, yeah, I know I'm doing well enough, but I want to do better. And the answer can't be good luck. The answer has to be, here's how we can figure this out. And sometimes it's mutual exploration. But that means that it begins with clarity about those expectations. Does all of this make sense? Any questions about this? Because we're going to move on. And I'm going to show you what we're going to talk about for the afternoon. And then we're going to break for lunch because I think they're done soon. What we found is that if you want person-centered practices, it begins with person-centered thinking. And one of the things that we've done, one of the positions I have is I am the chair of the Learning Community for Person-Centered Practices. Learning Community for Person-Centered Practices was begun by myself and a few other people, and one of those other people is Helen Sanderson from the UK, whose work here is done through a group called HSA. So if you're looking for how can I get person-centered thinking, look for HSA. We'll give you their contact information. But person-centered thinking is something where it is a defined skill set that we can teach. And if we can get people to use the skills, if we can get those skills to become habit, then what we see is person-centered practices. And if you can get person-centered practices to be pervasive, to be typical rather than exceptional, you'll get a person-centered organization. And if you can get enough organizations engaged in person-centered practices, it puts pressure up. One of the things that people in the ministry want to know is, if you have a clever idea, can I scale it? Because if you have a clever idea and it can be done for 5 people, well, that's nice, and we'll give you $1.98 to go do it. But if you have something that you can say, we can all do this, but it would go a lot better if you change this and change that. You get a person-centered system. Which, as far as I've been able to determine, you do not have at this moment. But if you want it, you need more organizations moving in this direction, or you need an inspired person in the ministry who's willing to take heat. But if you get person-centered systems, then you're going to get person-directed lives. So what do we mean by person-centered thinking skills? What impact do they have? And then how do we look at change? How do we get change management in place? And how do we recognize that we need alignment? And what the heck do I mean by alignment? And how do we manage resistance?